Too many of us are plugged into what's called group think. Group think. What does that mean? What does this mean to you? What does this mean to anyone? Basically, when you go back, back into society, just talking about how we were made, how we were developed, you're in your tribe, okay? You're with your family, your friends, you're in your like small tribe that they say maybe went up to like 150 people. And then someone comes, like the master, the expert, the old wise man or woman, and they say things, and you sit there and you listen and you learn from them. They could just be a teacher in your school. This is obvious. These are like granted things. You do want to be learning from people. People obviously have great things to teach you. I'm here, I'm only made it as far as I have in life. I've only done as much, become as much because I've learned from other people. Because I sat down and I watch other people's videos. Because I sat down and I try to read other people's books. We all go to school and you learn. This is all part of life. This is all part of the process. But what I'm trying to get to the point at is, at what point do you start thinking for yourself? At what point do you start making decisions for yourself? I notice too many people, it's almost like they get lost in this group thing. They get lost in people teaching them what to do, and it's almost like they believe in their world that they don't know how to think for themselves. They can't make decisions for themselves. Like, I work in a store, and people come up and they're like, where's this? Where's that? What does this do? How does it do that? What does it do? Does it have this? Does it have that? It's like they literally want me to do every single thing for them. They don't want to figure single things out for themselves. And it's like, it's understandable in this situation because I'm supposed to be the expert, but it's like, there's times where it's understandable, and there's times, mostly when the people, they seem arrogant, they seem kind of angry or frustrated and rushing. You can tell that's because they go through their whole lives like this. They spend their whole lives, whereas like they're always looking for something. They're always looking for people to tell them what to do and how to live their lives. And they're never really making any decisions or choices for themselves. They don't know anything about themselves. They haven't developed their own likes, their own taste. They just go, oh, society says that I gotta get a girl that looks like this, a man that looks like this, a car like that, and a house like that, and I gotta live in a place like this, and I gotta do this job. It is like when you're plugged into too much groupthink, like there's a beauty, there's a power. You should be learning from other people. You should also watch what you're learning from other people because you want to make sure you're taking in good information. But when you get too lost and you get too centered and that's all you do and you don't think to yourself, then you're basically a child running around, like my son running around. And it's like he gets frustrated over anything. Like if I give him the slightest challenge, he freaks out. He gets stressed out. He doesn't want to figure it out. Like the other day, I put a brownie on the table, right? I didn't say anything. I was like, Darian, come here. And then he came, he's like, what? What is it? He looks at the brownie, he sees the brownie, and then there's the question is like, did I put it there so I can eat? I had my own brownie though. It's like we had two separate brownies on two separate plates. I sat down, I started eating mine, and he just stands there so stressed out. Like, you would not believe the look of terror basically on this kid's face, just waiting. Like he was so stressed out. Like he's so plugged into groupthink, so plugged into just wanting everybody to tell him everything to do and every single step of the way of every single step of his life, that he could not even decipher that the brownie was for him. As straightforward and as obvious it is, and he was so plugged in, he couldn't even bring himself, the sphere of terror and stress of his eyes, he couldn't even bring himself up the courage to ask me if it was for him. He is so lost. I'm telling you this just because I'm trying to explain like how bad it can really get. Like he's so lost and plugged into what a theory that's called groupthink that he cannot even fathom asking me. Like he's so lost in it, he doesn't even want to ask the question. Like he's so lost, he just wants people to tell him everything. It's like, think about this, think about how many times in your life, think about when you're challenged, think about when you have to figure out something. Do you get stressed out? I honestly, my thoughts are going everywhere now, but honestly, I've been there. I understand it. I know it. Until I became who I am now, I used to freak out over every little thing. I used to get so stressed out. I used to get so overworked. If there was anything I have to do, any challenge in my life, I'd get overwhelmed. And I'm seeing all these people walking around that are so lost in this group think mentality that is just like my kid who can't figure out that the brownie is for him when there's 2 separate plates. He's the only one there, and I'm already eating my brownie. Like, he just wants somebody to tell him. I'm kind of repeating myself, but I'm trying to really emphasize these points because he just literally wanted somebody to tell him, okay, Darian, sit down in that chair, sit up straight, put your hand on that brownie, pick it up, put it in your mouth, chew it, enjoy it, swallow it, make sure you swallow, make sure you don't choke on it, okay? And then after it's done, after it's not in your mouth, after you swallow it, then take another bite, repeat the process. Like, that's the extent to how bad I see people are, whereas like they can't do anything. It's like they'll get to like, let's say you're in the group think and you're like, oh, I'm going to get a BMW because everyone else is getting a BMW. But it's like some people are so bad they can't even decide. Like, they'll be in the dealership and they'd be like, oh, which one do you think I should get? Which one's better? Which one's cooler? Which one's gonna make me look better? Which one's gonna get me more approval from my friends and family? Which one are people gonna hate on me more? And like people, it's like group think on top of group think on top of group think. Like, where's the point where you're yourself, where you make your own decisions in your life, where you actually think for yourself? I'm putting this video out there, and I know I understand my thoughts are kind of go wishy-washy and all over the place, but I'm really putting this video out there, and I'm hoping the message gets to the person who needs it. People don't know how to think for themselves anymore. People are afraid to make decisions in their own lives, and it's like, when you're coming from that frame, when you're coming from that mindset, who are you? What kind of person are you being? It's like, if everything in your life, like you pick that house, that car, that husband or wife, you pick that job, that school, just because that's what other people told you to do. Think about, have you ever made a real decision for yourself in your life? Think about that. Ask that question to yourself right now. How many decisions in your life were truly your decision? How many decisions in your life did you make without other people's influence? Do you have your own taste? There's a book, The Fountain. Honestly, I didn't even read it. I heard Tyler talking about it. But there's a book, The Fountain, and it talks about how this guy, he has an art gallery in his house, and he has some that are really, really expensive and some that are worthless. But he looked at them and he decided that meant something to him, that he liked that picture. He didn't just go buy them off because, oh, that's the expensive one. That's what I have the society's approval on. Like, don't just go buy things because society approves of it, because it has that high price tag. It doesn't mean anything. It really, at the end of the day, doesn't mean anything at all. The only thing that really means something is how much enjoyment you're getting out of it. Right now, I'm driving a 2004 Jeep, all right? It's not the most comfortable car in the world. It's not the fastest. It's not the shiniest. It's not the fanciest. It's not the most luxurious. It's really off-road worthy, I can tell you that. But that's about the only mark I get. But you know what? I bet I'm having a lot more fun in it than most people are having in their cars. I bet I do so much more with it than most people can do with their, it could be $1 million car. It could literally be $1 million car, and I'll be here with my car I paid $5,000 for. But I'm gonna have more fun in it. I'm gonna enjoy it more, and I'm gonna get more use out of it, because your little $1 million car that goes super fast, you can't go to IKEA and bring furniture back to your house for your wife in it. You ain't doing that in your luxury car. Maybe you got a nice luxury SUV, then that's a different standard. But typically people, like, I'm here to make a point. And typically people, when they buy that expensive luxury car, it's a little car that all it does is supposed to be really comfortable, drive really fast, and you try to show off how much money you are, but nobody really cares. Nobody's that concerned about you. People aren't going by, like, turning their heads, oh, look at that car. Honestly, I think they said that when the Hummers first came out, when the first Hummers were made public, it turned more heads than any other car. It turned more heads than a Ferrari. People get used to it after a while, and then it's the big bad Hummer that people are looking at. It actually stands out more. It draws more attention because it's not, because that thing you want, it just becomes normal after a while. I know. I need these thoughts in these videos to be a little more organized. I kind of go everywhere with this, but I guess, I'm really trying to just get a lot of points out there. I'm trying to really just make all these different points because I don't know what's going to stand out to you. I don't know what's going to click on you. I don't know which way you need to hear the message, what's going to make sense to you. So I'm just trying to hit the message from every angle I can to just kind of explain this to you. The fact really, I guess the real point of this video, I'll try to sum it up here, is that you may not be thinking for yourself as much as you think you are. And if you're not thinking for yourself as much as you think you are, then who are you? Like, you're not being anything. You're just being another floating person going through the wind, letting the influences of other people and of society and of your natural bodily impulses dictate every single thing in your life. And you know, I'm not even to say that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying maybe there's another way you can live your life, and maybe if you took a hand on your life, if you took control of your life, maybe you can actually change the course, stop believing that everything's just up to date and destiny and fate, and just make the decisions from yourself in your life from here on out, or at least at some aspect in your life, be like, re-question yourself, rethink everything. Maybe even you're married right now, you have that job, you have that car, you have that wife or that husband, and you realize you're not actually as happy as you think you would be. You're actually still really stressed out. You're actually still really tired, maybe even angry and upset, and just full of like nonstop anxiety, and you can't stop thinking, and you don't even realize you have anxiety. And it's like, maybe the problem is that you didn't make the right decisions in your life. And what happened is you let other people tell you what decisions you should make. You let society tell you what decisions you should make, because the human mind wanted you to conserve energy and not expend it trying to figure things out. But now you're stuck in a life that maybe you don't want to live because you didn't just make the right decisions in the first place. And this is not to say that now you need to freak out about your life and change everything, but maybe from here on out, you could take small steps every day to try to improve yourself, improve your life. Keep watching educational videos, keep watching videos just like this one. I'm here every day to keep helping people reframe their mindsets, reframe their worlds, and live better lives. And I hope you learned something. Whatever it is that stood out in this video, I try to get every point I can in there. I know I need to make it better organized, but take whatever point stood out to you, grab it, hold on to it. You're not gonna understand it at first. It's not gonna just, everything's gonna come to you. But if you hold on to it and you hold on to it and you hold on to it and you let that thought grow, the understanding will come to you. Whatever it is you're questioning, just hold on to it, as I said, and the understanding will come to you. And then when you understand it, then maybe you can start making better decisions for yourself. Maybe you can start making decisions for yourself in the first place, and maybe you can start changing your life. Not even saying right now in this video that you have to throw everything away. I'm not saying you need to get a new family, a new car, a new house, a new job, but maybe you can just at least tweak things so that you can have a better control over your life, your family, your car, your jobs, and actually realize, wait, I'm not getting the enjoyment out of this. How can I get the enjoyment out of this? What was it that was missing in this recipe, in this formula? Find it and add it to it, so at least you could go back into your life and you can re-enjoy it. You could learn to enjoy it. You can actually stop and smell the flowers and the roses, not just going through the day, not truly thinking about what you're doing and just lost in this autopilot daze that isn't serving you. And you know, you're just gonna be at the end of your life, or you're gonna have it made like prices wondering what you did in your life, and then you're gonna be at the end of your life wondering what you did in your life. But right now I'm giving you the opportunity to change your life in any way, shape, or form. Do something, anything whatsoever, to make your day better every single day. Make yourself a happier person. Like I said, I'll be here educating the masses to help people feel better, and I hope you join me every day that you can. Have a nice day.